Hey everybody out there, this is Bob and Lou at the Two Old Guys Garage. Lou is climbing up in the attic for some reason. Anyway, what we're going to do today, and this would be part 73, somewhere around there, segment 1, and it is September 11th, 2025. What we're going to do is, for you viewers that have looked at us all along, back in part 14, which was 2 years ago in October, when we first started up the engine, we had trouble with the distributor depth. We had trouble with the oil pump thing picking up. Pretty much documented. I took a look at part 14 last night to refresh my memory. And if you remember, or if you don't know, basic problem we had was that the distributors, both the HEI, the first one and this one, did not fit flush to the top of the manifold. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that distributor, and we have ordered shims that go here between this and the intake manifold. So we're going to measure that, but more importantly what we're going to do is we're almost certain that the distributor drive gear that's on the distributor that's in there now is probably not a melanized one. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock this gear off, because melanized distributor gears are available in two sizes, 0.491 and 0.5. So we have to take the distributor out of the Anglia, pop the gear off, measure the shaft, and then order the correct size melanized distributor gear from Summit. And then at the same time, of course, we're gonna check and see what happens when we set the correct distributor back in, how far it fits the manifold, and then shim it as necessary. The other problem we had was when we were doing the tune-up the other day, although the balancer, the harmonic balancer, which is an 8-inch one, of course, it's got markings on it. They're very hard to see. So this is timing tape. We're going to put an 8-inch timing tape on the pulley to make it more readable. And this is a brand new vacuum advance for my distributor, which would have gone to this, and I decided to replace the whole unit. So I'm going to run some vacuum checks and see what the vacuum and operation is of the distributor in the Anglia, and what my old one is and what the new one is, to make sure we got correct operation. And by the way, if you look close here, many years ago I took and added this little Allen screw and nut so that I could adjust and restrict the amount of vacuum advance that this guy was doing. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to pause here and we'll get back to you later. Hang on. Bye-bye. Okay, back after a slight pause. This is the distributor from the Blue Point engine. That's my old 32 distributor, and I'll get back to that in a second. Before we pulled the distributor, we did verify that there was a gap between the bottom of this and the top of the intake manifold. And in fact, this gasket was what was in there. As you can see, it's about 1/16 of an inch thick. Even with this gasket in here, I could fit in, what, a 31,000? Yeah, so we know that this is riding high. I think back when we did part 14, we determined that this tang was what was keeping it up, because we did take the gear, the distributor gear, thinking that it was the reason why it was riding up, and it wasn't. So what we did is, at that time, 2 years ago, we actually machined some off of the bottom of the existing gear, thinking that maybe that was what was keeping us gapped up too high. after we did that, it turned out it wasn't. We did some more measurements, and we found out that the shaft, when it's bottomed out in the oil pump drive shaft, this is too tall. So, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a set of Moroso shims, which we'll use. But I'm wondering, Lou, while this is off, should we take a little bit? We should probably check this.
Yeah, we'll check it now.
Yeah, we'll check it now without the gear, right? And Lou just went upstairs and ordered a melanized drive gear for this, which after measuring the shaft, this is 0.491 on the shaft. So realizing there's two gears available, one for 0.491, one for 0.5. So the 0.491. Lou ordered that. We probably won't get that from Summit till Monday. And then we'll put the thing all back together. So at this point, we're going to go and stick this in the... No, whoa, more important. The vacuum advance. I brought tools along. This is my vacuum brake bleeder, which is pretty handy. And checked the vacuum advance on the Anglia's distributor and the vacuum advance on this one, which you see is a B26. This is a brand new one that is for a 1970 Corvette. 3-4 months ago, I was going to remove this vacuum, which had this restriction nut in there, and I was going to replace it with a new good vacuum. So I ordered this, and when I got it, I thought, oh man, I have to take all this apart. I just thought, the hell with it. This distributor was installed in 1970. It's probably from a 62 327 or something like that. Done me well. Remember that it works with a capacitive discharge ignition, so I've never had a problem with any breakdown on spark. So this guy was removed. A brand new one went in there, which meant that the fact that I ordered this one was a waste of money. Not so, because look at this. Okay, using the vacuum pump and gauge, tested the one that's in the distributor that was on the Anglia, and if you look at those two black marks, that's the amount of travel. Right now it's in full stop, zero vacuum, just air pressure. If I pull 18, 19, 20 inches of vacuum, that second black dot is as far as it goes. Now, let me just show you. This is the brand new 70 Corvette one, and you can see that vacuum pulls this arm all the way back to where it makes contact with the plate. And I don't know if I can do this just to show you. Hang on. There, you can see the difference. This has got a much more travel to it. This is the brand new stock vacuum advance for a 70 Corvette. That's what that B26 number is. I researched everything before I ordered this. So what we're going to do is put the good brand new one back into the Anglia distributor, and then we're going to stick it in the hole, and we're going to check for depth measurement without the gear in the way and see what we got. So I'm going to pause again. I'll be back after a little bit. Okay, back after a slight pause. We've removed the whatever piece of shit there and put the brand new B26 in, which I had ordered previously for my 70 Corvette. So we'll pump it up. Watch the dots. There, you can see it's traveling. Let me get this all the way. Okay, there's a release here. Hang on a second.
Okay, here we go again.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, release it. Good. Okay, why go all through this? All right, for those of you that know and those of you who don't know, on a street machine, a vacuum advance is very important to help it run better on the street, idling, cruising. Most importantly, the more vacuum advance that you can get in, at running speed, what happens is that the engine actually runs cooler. Of course, when you step on the gas, the vacuum disappears to a certain degree and it will retard automatically. So this guy on the engine is connected to manifold vacuum, which is the better of the two situations than ported vacuum. And there's a lot of controversy out there, but I've been doing this for years. You gotta have manifold vacuum to a vacuum advance on a distributor and a small block Chevy. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this here, and we're gonna take the distributor. We're gonna go see how the depth is. Okay, hang on.
Liberal arts.
Yeah, okay, back. We just went to try to check the clearance here to the manifold. However, it was pretty good. The reason being that without the gear on, this can move up and down, so we can't get a thing. However, the dimensions that I measured without the gear pretty much indicates that it's not the oil pump shaft, right? No, so it has to be that other gear that we took off. So Lou has ordered the 0.491 diameter distributor shaft melanized gear from Summit, and it'll probably be here Monday maybe. So at that point we're not going to do anything right now. It's going to wrap it up, but when the gear comes in, we'll put the gear on, then we'll do the clearance test, decide what, if any, of these shims we're going to have to use to put it back together. And then of course we'll oh yeah, we're not going to put the tape on the balancer, the degree tape, yet, because the engine is sitting on number one where we have a line up to put the distributor back in without screwing around. So we're going to wait on the tape. So we'll put the tape on the balancer Monday, presumably, and we'll put the gear, melanized gear, back on the distributor, put it all together, and then we'll do some tuning and further checking, and we'll get back to you. So this will be the end of segment 1. Part 74, somewhere around there. Catch y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.